fucking Stockton, California, Wilson Way.
Ready to go?
Fucking rock and roll, baby. Yep.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Aloha Press Show. My name is JC out here in Atlanta, Georgia. Joined today with my co-host Jeff out in beautiful, sunny California. What's going on, buddy? How's it going?
Well, we're a little trapped in the fog here today, and I'm coming live from the garage, which is about 30-something degrees. You can probably see my breath a few times tonight. But I'm actually impressed. You're wearing flannel today. I must have rubbed off on you last week.
Well, it's if no one caught that, you kind of broke up there. It's yes, I wore a little plaid, and in retrospect, it's been rather chilly out here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. It's unless you go to South Georgia and North Florida, it's rather chilly out. But the grass is turning, things are changing, and shit. We've got a whole recap of the U.S. Open to remind everyone it's the Women's U.S. Open that was stamped and absolutely plastered all over the Golf Channel, NBC, some Peacock app that we had to watch it on. But Jeff, I mean, Monday finish. Let's get your quick takeaway, and then we're going to break down the whole entire weekend, all 5 days of it. But I mean, you've got, I fucking can't remember her name. Alim Kim makes 3 birdies on the final 3 holes to get to 3 under and closes out the U.S. Open, the 75th. One of very few Korean players to do so. Jeff, how excited were you on this Monday finish?
Well, first off, I'm very excited to be here tonight. I had a little scare with the old COVID this week. Been on the quarantine, had to get that fucking Q-tip shoved in my brain. But I'm back. I got the negative test results today. Shout out to Big Ed. Can't keep me down. It was actually a really good final round for a Monday. It really was. I got to watch most of it. And Alim Kim, on a day when, like Bernie says, par was a good score, and they were struggling out there, she comes out and just goes, bang, 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 16, 17, 18, birdie, 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 with a mask on, by the way, and kicks everyone's ass and takes home the W.
She absolutely did. And she, if you were going to describe anyone, if the state of California or the state of New York was going to recruit any golfer, she would be it. She would be the poster child. I mean, anyone dedicated enough to come to America and absolutely follow the rules to the T, Miss Kim did it. I mean, wearing a mask. I mean, from the time she showed up to the time she holed the final putt where her lady friends are dumping champagne showers on her, she's got her mask on, which was absolutely impressive. She went all in. She did not give a fuck and played some incredible golf, especially in some challenging conditions. We touched on last week, and we made fun of some of the outfits as the chilly weather came in, but the thing that I want to start out with, Jeff, is the USGA, put on this unbelievable tournament. I want your feedback. I mean, Thursday, Friday, 2 different golf courses. It's something that the U.S. Open has never done before. It seemed like a fair testament and a fair challenge for the lady golfers just to get those ladies out there and through the first 2 rounds. What was your take on that, 2 different course setup?
It's different. It kind of reminds me of just a regular tour event when they do something like that. I didn't really like it. I get why they had to do it. Daylight, they don't have the time to put all those players through on one golf course. But I'll tell you what, man, the coverage, it was hard to find it. It was hard to watch it. Like, I said I wouldn't watch this QBE or whatever the fuck that other tournament was. But that just kept popping up every time I turn on the goddamn Golf Channel. So I don't think that they did a really good job of at least making it forefront for us to be able to watch and support the women like kind of was the plan this week.
Well, and especially with the rhetoric that they came out with, it was absolutely plastered come Thursday, Friday. It seemed like it was going to be an unbelievable championship weekend, which it was. It just the movement of hashtag women worth watching, I was all for it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. You got some PGA Tour players shouting it out. You've got the USGA giving you some specific stats about how only 4% of women's golf is actually covered and televised. Now, with that being said, it was like a fucking Easter egg hunt. Like, we didn't know where Santa was going to come from. We cover golf for a living. Like, this is my job. I write a fucking newsletter 3 days a week. And I had to refer back to my own information. And even that information about where it was going to be at what specific time was absolutely false. At one point in time, I'm watching the Peacock fucking app, and all of a sudden, I just get, like an hour coverage of a pond and a tree, and I try and switch it over to Golf Channel, and then you got this QBE crap on. And it just was kind of sad to say, that we're trying to make this movement for women's, sports and to be able to watch these events, but the PGA Tour is not taking it serious. And shit, Golf Channel, who's actually the one broadcasting this event, I mean, you got all the spectacular announcers out there. I mean, from Jim Bone to from some of the other Dan Hicks, some of the other lady friends that we'll get to, but it just seemed like they didn't take it serious as their rhetoric that they were pushing out like they were.
Well, it was very disappointing. And the thing that got me is, one, yeah, I couldn't find it on TV as much as I would have liked, but I'm the type of guy, I like to follow it on the websites too, right? And ESPN, the worldwide leader of fucking sports. You go to the golf page, it's not even mentioned. You have to hit scores. They show you a fucking PGA tournament that hadn't even happened yet. You have to find LPGA. Then you click on it, and they only show you 9 players. Nothing's live. So if they want to sit here and promote that we're going to, women watching women, men, whatever the fuck they're going to say, and we're going to watch women's golf, at least fucking put it out there for us to find it and follow along. Like, it was difficult. The fucking Aloha Press Classic, people had more idea what was going on than this thing, and it's a fucking major.
Well, that's what I was trying to express is it's a major championship. This is a fucking big deal, and this is a big deal for 2020, ending it out. I mean, you've got a ton of players who we don't know a lot about. We've got absolutely some incredible just content just being laid out on the golf course. Christy Kerr is absolutely entertaining. She's a hefty elder girl who was recently in an accident. She was screaming shit, like pissed. I mean, just in pain, absolutely entertaining golf. And we barely got to see her. And the thing that disappoints me the most is on a day-to-day PGA Tour type event, you get featured groups. You get multiple telecasts, multiple TV stations watching and really, embracing that conversation and promoting those types of players. And it just seems like, you have a lady who won the U.S. Open and I know nothing about except 2 things. She's from Korea. She never won a major and she likes wearing masks. Okay. That's the only thing I know about her. And I know that she made 3 birdies coming in. Other than that, they wanted other stories to happen. And it seemed like the presentation sucked.
Well, here's the thing. They wanted other stories, right? They wanted to talk about Bryson's caddy and Lexi. Well, she didn't make the fucking cut. So she's gone. Right? Then they want to talk about Christy Kerr and this fucking golf cart accident, how she's all bruised up and went into the steering wheel. Well, from a guy that's been in a few golf cart accidents to a guy that's been in a few golf cart accidents, I want to know more about it, right? What's the details about this thing? What are we leaving out? Because if you're crashing a golf cart, in my opinion, you probably had one too many. So give me some fucking details. Give me the juice, right? Because here's the thing. Just saying she's bruised up and sore and made the cut, whoop-de-fucking-do.
Well, I completely agree. Because the only thing that came out about that story was that they were driving in the dark. There was a cart coming her way, and they ran into a pole. She dislocated some ribs hitting the steering wheel. And I'm like, this is fucking not – something else is going on. Like, this is – my spider senses are fucking going up. There had to be some alcohol involved maybe the night before, and maybe the golf cart maybe was a cover-up because – let's be real. Golf carts, at least from my experience at the local club, they go about 8 miles an hour. Okay. And the chances of really injuring yourself too bad, like dislocating ribs, that sounds like someone kicked the shit out of you in a bar. Like that's not a golf cart winning a fight.
No. And here's the thing. Either keep your mouth shut, keep it quiet, don't bring it up, or tell the whole fucking story. Right. Like
Exactly.
don't leave the viewers here to be able to, sit there and talk shit and nitpick like we are right now. Like if she would have just come out and said what happened, all right, cool, I'm good with it. But whatever, it's okay. Hey, all I know is it actually, for the golf I got to see, they played well. It was a tough course, tough conditions, and they did a good job. The announcers, on the other hand, and the coverage, not so good.
And I agree with you. It's something that NBC rolled the dice with a particular fan of yours, Paige McKenzie, which I mispronounced her name earlier. She was put in place of Paul Azinger to present the LPGA Tour. She's got a history of it, and I'm sure you're going to go into it. When it comes down to the commentators, they really have to explain and create the storylines for us on the golf course. And the one thing that drives me absolutely fucking crazy is the lack of confidence when you're on television. And we do it twice a week. And it seems like it's not that challenging because we have kind of an open format. And I'm sure she has, some things that she needs to accomplish, like sponsorship, regulations and stuff. But it just seems like she made it absolutely difficult for Dan Hicks to accomplish his job every single moment of the telecast.
Well, and here's the thing. Dan Hicks did a really good job. He fooled me at one point, right? I didn't even know who he was at one point. I'm sitting here thinking he's one of our favorite guys, right? Mr. Jim Nance. He fooled me. He did a great job. But cut off your fucking play-by-play person, Paige McKenzie, every other fucking hole, every other shot gets old. And you could tell he was getting fucking upset, right? He's sitting there and he's going, hell up. So it bothered me. We talked about this last week. One, you've got to play the game. She's played the game. She was a tour player. Was she good? No, right? 0 top 10s, no wins, no nothing like that. And I'm all for bringing a woman into the Women's U.S. Open, but she's got to figure it out a little bit more before you put her on the major broadcast. Come on.
Well, yeah, and to fill the shoes like a Johnny Miller, even a Paul Azinger. I mean, you got to do it in a way, and you got to be confident what you're doing. And I don't know why NBC is so hesitant to bring someone on that might be a little rough around the edges and maybe doesn't have the tenure like some of these other golf announcers. I mean, they stuck someone in there that, yes, is constantly on the morning show with the Golf Channel or the Golf Week or whatever the hell it is, but it just seems like it just wasn't great TV, and it was just rather annoying. It was frustrating, and I felt like they had an opportunity to to go over the top and really roll the dice on something and present a little more entertaining, exciting product, and they kind of fell flat on their face. But Jeff, I mean, as negative as we get sometimes, the thing that was probably the most negative through the week was Amy Olsen, was in contention after losing her father-in-law. It was kind of a crazy, sad story. I wanted your quick take. This podcast isn't known for, shedding a lot of tears, but I mean, how does someone compete after losing someone in their family? I mean, you got to be able to just shut it off and keep going. That sounds a little rough around the edges, but that's the great thing about competitive sports.
It is, and it gives you an opportunity to kind of clear your mind and forget about it for a little while. But she battled her ass off. She did a good job. She played really hard out there. And in the end, she came up a little bit short, but it's tough. And sometimes you see players, they rise to that occasion and they get through it. And it makes for a great story, the Cinderella story, right? It didn't happen, but I thought she did a really good job. She battled her ass off. She's dealing with something obviously very terrible going on in her personal life. And it was another storyline that was good for the broadcast, right? I feel for her. I do. I can't say I've ever been in that situation. I don't know if you had. I mean, I played some games in college when I found out my grandmother had passed away, and it's kind of an escape. Get it out of your mind and get out there and play. And a lot of the times you focus a little bit more. So she did a good job. She still got her top 5 or whatever she got there at the end. But she just didn't pull it out. The girls, Alim Kim was going to win that. You can't birdie 16, 17, and 18 and lose. And she was not ready for a playoff, let me tell you. She was dropping her phone in her golf bag. She's spilling coffee all over herself. She didn't have a fucking clue. So if it went to a playoff, she probably would have lost. But hey, it didn't matter.
No, it absolutely didn't matter. And that was and as sad as the story of, Amy Olsen and them having to, extend the match and everything, I thought she handled it quite well. It's something that I've dealt with on a competitive sense after losing a parent. And it's something it's I don't want to say it motivates you because it doesn't, because all it does is absolutely distract and as it should, because that's the most important thing in life. But the thing about competitive sports and competitive golf is it gives you the ability to shut it off for like 4 to 5 hours, focus on what you need to focus on, and then you can focus the rest of your time, where it needs to be. So I thought she handled it really well. I thought the coverage wanted this. They wanted the moment, which would have been cool, but at the same time, she just didn't play well enough, and Kim got it done, which was unique on a golf course that I thought was pretty cool. Jeff, I got to ask you, I mean, before we started the show, I mean, would you have known that they had to painted the fairways to make them aesthetically look as cool as they did?
So I had no clue until you told me. I had no clue. I just thought they were beautiful green, and I'm sitting there going, "Well, if they can keep the fairways green, why is the fucking rough looks like such a mess right now?" But it makes more sense that they brought out the Krylon and they sprayed a little bit of green paint, kind of like the NFL does towards the end of the year when the end zones are all chopped, pretty much just dirt. But hey, they fooled me.
Which, I mean, golf course wise, it seemed like it wasn't the biggest and most difficult test, like your typical U.S. Open golf course was. I liked the look of it. I like that dormant Bermuda where you never know what kind of lie you're going to get. I like the idea of actually being able to see the competitor's golf ball and kind of have an idea of what they're dealing with instead of your typical 12-inch rough where golf balls just go missing 2 feet off the fairway. So I thought that was kind of cool. Learning about them painting the fairways was unique to me because I ventured out to my golf course and I go, oh, you fuckers painted the range. Like, this is weird. So I would have never fucking known. So, I mean, positives coming out of the U.S. Open this week in my opinion, was a Monday finish. Even though a lot of the competitors and players were complaining about some of the conditions, especially with some of the mud balls, I think if the LPGA Tour or women want a better focus on their product, I love the Monday finish. I love the idea of finishing maybe on a Thursday. I love finishing maybe on a Wednesday, somewhere that it's not so competitive on television. So you're not having to fight for TV coverage. I mean, what else was going on in the world of golf or the world in sports besides Monday Night Football on a Monday? Jeff, I'd love to hear your opinion. I mean, they have to have more viewers Monday than they ever would on a Sunday, having to figure out where to watch it and even competing against the PGA Tour.
Well, I like it too. Anytime that you can separate them from the other major sports is a positive, right? And I don't know if they're going to do anything going forward. They probably won't. They just continue to put it, second fiddle essentially. But it was good. I woke up, had my coffee, watched the last, couple hours of coverage, and it was fun to watch. It was also very nice to see that Eddie Maria didn't break your bank this week. He didn't get the W. My girl, second place, lost by 1. She came close, birdied the last. Wasn't enough. Yours made the cut, shot plus 12, lost by a few. But hey, overall, in all the shit we talk, it was still a successful week for the PGA or the LPGA Tour.
I think so. It's something that I was proud to watch and I was excited about it. And, as negative as we can get, as many positives that come out of it, I think it was a good product for the most part. I think, the things in the future would be fans. I think some of those big name players, might have elevated to the challenge if they would have had a little bit more focus, a little bit more fans, and hopefully we'll get into that next year as this pandemic. Clearly, you're fine. I mean, you had a little scared, quarantined, and completely fine. I mean, you're out there drinking bourbon, smoking cigars in your new studio. So I don't want to hear any in the world. So, I mean,
hey, I tell you what. I will say one thing though. The ladies listened to last week's podcast. I know we got a lot of feedback, a lot more views this week. but they listened. They not that many of them put the beanie over the hat. They wore earmuffs this time.
Hey,
Did you see that?
I saw it. I'm like, what? They clearly watched the podcast and YouTube show looking like me with my my headphones on. Like, what the fuck is going on now? Like,
hey, I gotta say, I like that way better. I like that way better.
oh well, that's great. The ladies, I mean, not to get into fashion too much, but the what's her name? Huboko, I can't remember her name, but Hanaka Shibuno. Oh my god, like I don't know what golf brand she's wearing, but it is horrible. It looked like a 1992 tracksuit, and she was about to play for the United States in the Olympics. Like it was just a mix of red, white, and blue, which I loved. God, it was horrible.
Well, when I caught her on Monday today, first I look, I'm like, well, it looks like she's wearing like a skater sweatshirt,
Yeah.
and then she's got on like some snowboard pants. And I was like, she getting ready to hit the slopes today or what? What's going on over there in Texas?
I'm sure. I mean, it was cold. I mean, it was in the 40s and 50s, and these girls are wearing like parkas. I think I saw a couple ponchos, a couple boarding jackets. I just was like shocked with some of these outfits. I don't know how cold it gets in Japan, but it looks rather chilly. So the ladies might be making a few hotter knots in the near future with some of those outfits. But moving on,
Hey,
Jeff. Go ahead.
Can I say one thing before we move on from this? And this was my takeaway because I talked about it last week about how they're hitting 5-irons, 150 yards, and stuff like that. But Lim Kim, the winner, legitimately hits the ball as far as me and you.
Well,
she had 120 in on 18, and they're like, "Oh, this is a wedge," and I'm like, "Oh, it's gonna be like a pitching wedge or something," No, that girl's hitting like a 56-degree wedge, 120, and I'm like, she hit 3-wood off the tee to get it to that yardage. She hits the ball just as far as us, so that's probably why she won. She was out driving the field, out hitting the field, just completely dominated in the end.
Well, I think the last couple shows I've mentioned, like, it's cool to see women's golf because we're kind of comparable to amateur. I am completely wrong. It is the amateurs and lady golf. Like, I have no game compared to these ladies. They would absolutely stomp the shit out of me after watching the U.S. Open. To be quite honest with you, some of them, yes, they might only carry their driver 220, but they are hitting 4-3 hybrids to like feet where it would be a spray show with me anywhere on the golf course. I mean, the ability to be that accurate with 3-woods and hybrids and long irons is just absolutely incredible. Yes, Kim is super long, but I mean, there's some ladies out there that we might compete distance-wise, and they would absolutely kick the shit out of me, which was absolutely incredible. Now, who would absolutely kick the shit out of me even more was just a highlight reel this weekend was the QBE Classic, the big Sharkies event down in Florida. Jeff, I got to ask you straight up. I mean, it was a 3-day event, and it looked like some magical best ball tournament that I did not want to watch. I watched a little bit Friday of Kevin Na walking about 18 birdie putts. I was not impressed. I was rather disappointed. Did you get any chance to watch any of this nonsense?
So kind of like you, I watched a little bit on Friday, and I got so turned off by the coverage because all they were doing was talking about how great of a shit talker Matt Wolf is, right? And how he's wise beyond his years and can talk shit with all these fucking seasoned pros. And I'm like, no, he can't. He cannot. Those guys have won 10 times more than him, made 10 times more money than him. He's done absolutely nothing, right? And he's annoying. So, yeah, it's safe to say I turned it off pretty quick and never turned it back on. I mean, I know Matt Kuchar fucking got the W by 9 strokes or whatever the fuck they won by. But, yeah, I was turned off real quick by it and never turned it back on.
It was just like a highlight reel, and it looked like the golf course. I mean, the golf course had no rough, which was kind of cool. I mean, for amateurs, but it just was like it was like a freaking jerk off session. It was like, who's got the big ding-a-ling? And Matthew Wolf, by the way, I'm sick and tired of seeing the highlight reels of his stupid swing. No one cares anymore. No one, I went to the driving range this week. No one's practicing that shit. Okay. No one gives a fuck about how fucked up his swing is. And it's great. He makes it work. But just like Matthew Wolff and Bryson DeChambeau and Bubba Watson, no one's swinging like him. Okay. If anyone needs to take any like actual lesson, I would go look at the U.S. Open winner, Alim Kim, and maybe take down some notes because Matthew Wolff is just absolutely ridiculous. And this QBE was just a black eye to the U.S. Women's Open, in my opinion. I did not watch much of it, but at the same time, the content gods for the Aloha Press just keeps giving. I mean, Matt Kuchar and I think Harris English were paired up, and they won it. They broke their record of 37 under through this 3-day event, which was I'm sure was just riveting coming down the stretch. But the thing that was just cracking me up was Matt Kuchar doesn't have a caddy, so he brought on his son to carry his bag, who looked about 9 years old, by the way. I'm assuming to avoid the 10% gratuity that he would need to pay him. Jeff, is there a warrant that needs to come out? Like, does Matt Kuchar need to? Does CPS need to be called? I don't understand, buddy. I need your take.
Well, he's obviously the cheapest guy in golf. I give him credit, though, for bringing his boy out on the bag. That's cool. But, hey, the dude just earned himself about $40,000. So you might want to give him a new car, something. I'd like to see the next Instagram post from the PGA Tour saying something that Matt Kuchar bought his boy or that he put this money away for something because the dude deserved it. Hey, he just shot the tournament record with his boy on the bag. That'll bring him along for the PGA Tour season next year.
I agree. And cut him a check. Cut him a check every week. What the hell? Why not? Maybe more PGA Tour players are going to, sign up some of these younger bucks to, huff around that tour bag. But there's a few comments on Twitter. Just a few of them, thought they might exchange high fives, hugs, or cheeseburgers in payment. Good old Matt Kuchar just finding ways to be cheap. Which all in all, which was unique and cool, and I'm sure it's going to be a great experience next week. But, another highlight for this week was Race to Dubai. Lee Westwood. Jeff, have you watched any European Tour golf this year?
Zero.
Well,
somehow Patrick Reed was in the lead for the Race to Dubai going into this week.
Neither was Patrick Reed, Colin Morikawa, or Victor Hovland. They have played 0 events on the European Tour, but somehow we're in the race to win $3 million.
Did they pay those guys to come over there to give them like an appearance fee? Say, hey, we'll give you fucking 500 points. Just come give us some fucking star power or what? What happened there?
I don't know. It seemed like the European Tour. They had this Race to Dubai, and then all these Americans are showing up. And I understand Victor Hovland's not an American, but he might as well. He went to freaking Oklahoma State. So it just is shocking to me that you get guys on the European Tour who bust their ass, who are making very little money compared to the PGA Tour guys. And then they just show up with the final tournament and it's like, all right, I'm here to collect my check. And it's like, fuck. And Patrick Reed was in the mix for most of the weekend. And luckily enough, Ryan Fitzpatrick got the victory and, propelled.
Wait. You're talking about a fucking Miami Dolphins quarterback.
Whatever. What's his name?
Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Whatever.
We're throwing touchdowns or hitting fucking birdies. I don't know what's going on around here.
You got Fitzpatrick. He goes out there and gets the W and rips the Race to Dubai out of any of these Americans' hands, and graciously gives it to the 47-year-old young Lee Westwood. By the way, Jeff, I got to know. We talked about caddies recently on this episode. Would you honestly let your wife or girlfriend carry your golf bag to achieve some of these feats that Lee Westwood has achieved?
So I would love to party with Lee Westwood. I think he's going to spend that $3 million very well. Would I ever? No. But there is one man that I know in my life that's had his wife on his bag for a big tournament.
Yeah.
And that guy's looking right at me. So if anybody knows what it's like, it's you.
It's an awkward conversation at the beginning of the round. It's like, all right, so this is serious to me. I know it might not be serious to you. Generally, we indulge in some cocktails the night before, so that there's not a lot of communication the day of the tournament, which is unique. There might be a few bathroom breaks to to visit the old toilet gods, but. The thing about it, I mean, Lee Westwood, I mean, the dude's old as shit. Like, he won this same event 20 years ago, and he's just – I would love to hang out with Lee Westwood. If anyone on the European Tour, I think there's a couple of them. Henrik Stenson might be one, Tommy Fleetwood, but Lee Westwood is probably on the top of my list just because now that the PGA Tour and the European Tour are now in this, like, conglomerate of, like, getting along – the UPS might be making a name for itself in the old FedEx Cup next year.
Yeah, I congratulate him. I mean, that's awesome. Take home $3 million for really doing absolutely nothing over there. And he still never won a major on our tour either. So, hey, he's winning at life. We'll say that.
He's winning at life, and he's winning at a tournament where they had fans, which was absolutely incredible. They had some grandstands out there. I don't know. Saudi Arabia looks like an amazing – not Saudi Arabia. Dubai looks like an amazing place. Saudi Arabia does not look like an amazing place. I don't want to go to Saudi Arabia unless they pay us a lot. But
right.
Dubai looked like a golf tournament that we could get behind. I mean, it had a few fans, had some unique trophies. We conducted a few Instagram votes, and it looked like the Aloha Press Classic trophy was a little higher on the rankings, but – Jeff, I mean, with that being said, I mean, I think it was a cool win for the European Tour and Lee Westwood. But the thing that everyone wants to know and everyone wants to get to is, yes, we might have a U.S. Open victory. We might have a Race to Dubai victory. Matt Kuchar might be, getting charged, some CPS violations. But the people want to know who won the Golf Now $75 gift card from the Aloha Press. Head to the links on us.
Well, here's the thing. This is just the start of the giveaways that we're going to roll into 2021. I mean, they're going to be bigger and better. I'm not going to give it away because there's going to be some awesome fucking shit. But it was nice to see the viewership, the sponsors, the comments, the subscribers start to go up a little bit. It's like, hey, guys are figuring it out. We can't let Eddie Maria win every fucking giveaway.
Well, we promptly deleted his comment on the YouTube channel. So if you guys are informed, this particular contest, all you had to do is subscribe, watch, and comment. And sure enough, Eddie Maria didn't do that, which was I paid him not to because I feared that he would win in another goddamn contest. But I mean, I got to give a shout out to the Hurtado. I mean, getting it done, leaving a great comment. He's also inspired Hot or Not with some music, but. It was random drawing earlier this evening, and sure enough, he's going to take home the $75 gift card. So congratulations, buddy. Thanks for watching and commenting. Thanks to everyone who watched and commented. Really appreciate it. But the thing that you need to know that Jeff just hit on was 2021 might be punched right in the mouth by the Aloha Press. We might be doing a couple things in the near future that you're going to want to subscribe to the newsletter so you have absolutely first crack at any information that we dabble out. I teased it on Instagram earlier today, but just get ready. Just get ready. And Jeff, that being said, buddy, really appreciate it. And let's we'll see you on Thursday's show.
Come back Thursday better than ever.
All right, buddy. We'll see you then.